one of those talks I wish I didn't have to give. It's always a little scary, but I always learn something from giving the talk. It really is part of what we do. It's unfortunately part of everything we do. But I thought I would give you a little hope. So I'm going to go over the causes and some of the cures that we have for this issue. What do we mean by a missed mammographic lesion? Well, it's a little different to define the false negative from the missed lesion. A false negative is any time you have a diagnosis of cancer, by definition, there had to be some cancer on the previous study. It may not have been in any way visible, but it had to have been there, because we know the natural history of breast cancer is such that it's going to take several years for a cancer to develop to a size we can actually identify it. So by definition, the previous study did have something on it we would consider was a cancer. But a more practical working definition is to go back just 12 months and say if a cancer was diagnosed within the last 12 months, we would consider that a false positive or a false negative study. And that's mainly for the purposes of our audit. We try to do our audit every year. And it's also we hope the interval at which women are being screened. Of course, we know that's not always the case. But that's why a practical working definition is just to say a cancer that's been diagnosed within 12 months of an examination that was read as normal. But a missed cancer is any time we have an actual false negative case where a cancer is seen in retrospect. But we all know how subjective that is. The easiest thing, the most powerful tool we have is the retrospectoscope. We can always see something. But it's still even though it's subjective, it's a very worthwhile exercise always to go back and see if you could have found something earlier that would have led you to the diagnosis on the previous study. So why should we care? Well, obvious reasons. First of all, it's a very powerful teaching tool for recognizing subtle cancers. It allows us to improve our skills and find more small cancers, which we hope will translate into saving more lives. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any concern whatsoever about this. But we're trying to make a difference and make more of a difference.